Welcome to Conversations with Chris. I have Liz here with me and I'm really excited to share her story with you. So I have worked with Liz for a number of years and I am actually really excited to hear what she's going to share with you all about her journey with me and Balance Central and her own life. So Liz,
hello.
Over to you.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce you to everyone. So what is it you'd like to share about maybe not just who you are in the world, but what you contribute to the world?
Goodness, I don't think I've ever been asked that question. So I'm Liz. What I contribute to the world, I don't know. I guess
let me ask you this way,
Yeah.
then, because I think this is part of, I love these sorts of reveals because I can ask a question and it's okay to struggle with the answer.
Yeah.
What if we reframe it and say, when you wake up in the morning,
Yes.
what gets you going?
What gets me going? That's a good question as well. I think the thing that drives me most, like when you first asked me the question, I'm like, okay, well, I work for this and I'm someone's girlfriend and I have 3 dogs and kind of this surface kind of stuff, but it's not really who I am. I guess who I am as a core and what gets me up in the morning and what drives me is probably creativity and expressing that. So I love writing, making things up, having the ideas in my head come to life, and also learning. Like I'm a passionate learner and I love reading and doing courses and things like that. So just someone who's constantly, I guess, hungry for more knowledge and just to kind of express, I guess, on the journey to kind of express who I am in the world.
Excellent, cool. Which leads us to the next question. So let's get into Unlock Your Power program.
Yes.
So what was it for you that you went, okay, I'm ready to do this now? Because there was a bit of a delay in that.
There was a
response.
There was
you.
a delay, yeah.
So let's share a bit of that story.
Yeah. So I've been working with Chris for a number of years now, just doing the individual balances, and we also did self-nourishment. And just, it's kind of, I think of Chris as my like secret weapon. So when I sort of get to a point in my life where I'm stuck, I'm just like, Chris, it's just this intuitive, it's Chris time. And we had discussed doing Unlock Your Power, and then I was just like, things just kept delaying it, and I was going through lots of different changes in my life and it just wasn't the time. And then once again I had that sort of moment of like, it's Chris time and it's time to unlock my power.
She literally rang me and went, it's time, and I just knew that we were right onto it, and we started within a couple of days. It was like no other convincing was needed. It was just really great.
No, it's just like when I know, and it was well and truly time, so it was good.
So we started. So yes, there's an intuitive draw.
Yeah.
But what was it?
I think I was at a point where I wanted more, and I was kind of struggling with, okay, I can do these practical steps, but something else needed to be unlocked, I suppose. And just, it's hard to, because we've talked about this before, when I've come to Chris, it hasn't been, I guess, a really specific issue. It's just kind of something doesn't feel right, or, I'm struggling with, I'm trying to express this and it's not happening, or I need to do this and it's not happening. So it hasn't been kind of big, like I need to do this and this and this.
Yeah, because my world is falling apart, so I must go and fix it. It's more subtle than that.
Yeah, and it's kind of that constant shift and like that learning to be, okay, what's holding me back, or what type of stuff am I kind of conscious of, but I just rationally I can't fix it. I can't move through it. I just need something. I need that energy to kind of come in and to be supported to move through that, as opposed to me being like, well, then I could do this, this, and this. It's something deeper than that and ingrained that just needs that bit of magic to bring it to the surface and help clear it so you can move on to whatever it is you're wanting to move to.
So now this next question is going to be a fun one to answer, because this program goes over 6 to 9 months. So no pressure here at all. What surprised you throughout this process? Was there any big surprises?
It always surprises me how easy it is.
Oh.
And how, because I'm someone who like makes things happen. It's always like striving, and that's been a pattern in my past, just like this is the goal. And I'm really trying to step into that ease and just being like, to be open. And I think that's the thing that's always, I guess, surprised and delighted me about the balances, is that it doesn't need to be this constant labor to get things done. It's like, okay, what's coming up? Like, and it's obviously coming up because it's ready to be released. And then just that ease of like, okay, it's not like, well, I had to figure out this and I had to do that. It's just like, oh, it's that worry that was there is just not there anymore. Or the trigger that used to be like a downfall or used to trigger me in a particular way is just like, it's just, okay, it's fine, you know?
So I want to share a couple of stories.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to share.
Oh.
Liz is going to share.
I'm like, I love stories.
So I want to hear some, well, it's not that I want to hear it because I've heard your stories, but I want to know what stories you'd like to share about what's some specific examples that you noticed throughout or noticed about you or even others maybe around you. What's been your observation?
Yeah. So there's been so many little ahas over the period of time. So I'll try and think of like the really important ones. But I know one of the feelings that I was having was like almost beating myself up for like, why am I feeling this way? Like, why is this still something that keeps reoccurring in my life?
So do we have a specific example of that? Because I really want to get into an
specific
actual...
example. Okay, yeah, sure. So people pleasing. So saying yes to things because I felt obligated, or because I thought that was the good thing to do, or because I felt it was like what I should be doing or the right thing to do.
So can I just interrupt that? Because I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But people easily justify people pleasing and they almost don't recognise it.
Yeah.
So you can be a people pleaser and that's just feels like who you are.
No, I don't think it's because I think you can still want to please people and make people happy, but the trigger for me that it's not healthy or it's not good for you is when you feel resentment.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So if I want to do someone, and I think it's beneficial for them as well, if you're helping, if you're being of service, that you want to be there and they want to be there as well. So you're not either stepping in because you should do it to like, I'm trying to fix your problem, or I'm doing this because as a good child, as a good girlfriend, I should be doing this. It's okay, I want to do this because I really want to do this with you, or it's my pleasure to help you with this, not just like, yeah, well, I don't want to be disliked, or I don't want people to think I'm mean, or, you know.
And has that shifted significantly?
It has, yeah. And I still have moments of that. I think like everyone does, but it's a case of being more open. And if someone says, will you do this? I'm like, either let me think about it, or just it's a simple, no thank you, I don't feel like doing that. And I guess the surprising thing is how that is easy and how people respect that, as opposed to me thinking like, if I say no, then they're gonna hate me. So,
and we can often know this. Like we can know.
Yeah, we know it.
We can know that we don't have to say yes all the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't that like like, oh God, and then sort of that type of feeling.
Yeah.
And I think also one of the other big things that I've talked about that was big is, you know, these feelings that didn't feel like me, and you explained it, that came up. It's like an antenna. So we go through life and we've got our little antenna and we're having a few programs come through. They're not our programs. They might be a parents or societies or your random boyfriend from grade 11, you know.
And they always come with the best program.
Oh, they do. They
from
do.
11.
Juicy. But you know, we pick that up, and then it's like, wow, why is this feeling so bad? And you explain, like, it's not your program. This is someone else's stuff that you've kind of acted as a conduit through, or you've acted as an antenna.
And it just kind of, I feel it's like it kind of just sticks to you.
Yeah,
and therefore you function through it because it's suddenly landed. So therefore it becomes like something you have to do because it feels, it does feel like you.
Yeah, so that was a big thing, just being like, oh, okay, so I'm not crazy. This isn't my stuff, or it hasn't come from. It's come from somewhere else, and I've just it's kind of been a little limp at me for a while. But I can be like, okay, thank you so much. I'll learn from you and. Ciao.
So, I'm going to hit you with all the big questions because this is another one.
Go for it.
So, we didn't quite do this 12 months ago, but who you were 12 months ago and where you were in your life compared to now.
Yeah.
What's some of the differences that you can see? And it mightn't necessarily be circumstance.
Yeah. The biggest change I can see in me is that I do not have this death grip of control, and me thinking that I essentially run the universe. So, previous things of being like setting things, like, yep, I must do this, and this will have this outcome, and then this will happen. It's like I've had sort of circumstances in my life where it's just sort of taught me that, you can plan and you can set goals, and sometimes something will come out and totally take you out left field. And I think the biggest change is learning to accept that I'm not kind of mistress of the universe, and to be okay with that. And I guess the consequence from that is just enjoying life and enjoying circumstances for what they are. Just being like, not thinking about the next step, just being like, even something so simple as just like, look at this day, and just not worried about, oh, how am I going to do this? Just kind of be open.
I think a great example is on the way here today, Liz shared with me as soon as she arrived that she comes a different way every time she comes to my place. And the GPS took her on a different route again today.
Yeah.
And I think it can be in even those moments that when we're caught in control, we go, oh, now I'm going to be late because I'm now going on, I don't know where I'm going and how am I going to get there, but you just turned up perfectly on time.
Right on time, and I'm usually always late. So,
and
not usually for you though. Hey.
and it's this it's about getting all those little everyday moments.
Exactly.
That just to go with it, and not just consciously thinking that we can go with it, but actually being relaxed in it. And
being like, okay, well, I'm stuck in traffic because I might just be meant to be sitting here, and not being frustrated
about the car not moving. Seriously, could you go more than 10 kilometres an hour?
Yeah, and just being like, this is where I'm meant to be, and this is the stage that I'm meant to be at. So I guess a lot more, and I think people notice in me as well, so I'm a lot more calm and less of a cow probably, because I have in the past, I've judged people who haven't been as wanting, why don't you want this? And it's just like, calm down, it's all good.
Awesome. So if someone's interested in doing Unlock Your Power program, why should they do it? What is this program about?
There's lots of reasons. I think if you're feeling a pull to it, it's absolutely something. It's like anytime I invest with you, it's so beneficial. I guess your knowledge, and I guess also with one of the things I love about you, Chris, is you get the balance. But I think you're also a bit of a coach as well. You're a good reflector. And you give sort of constant, you're very generous with your support. So anyone who's wanting to, I guess, be supported by someone who's genuine and passionate and is interested in the outcome. Like, it's such a, they should work with you, and I will continue, even though I've done the programs, I've done self-nourishment, I've done, you know,
And
it's
you're
like,
done now. No.
we've just been talking about, oh, hang on, yeah, let's go back and do this. So anyone, I guess, who's curious and wanting kind of just that bit of extra support, where it's kind of, like, I don't know if I can say this, but kind of almost like be a bit lazy. Just kind of sit back and let the magic and the energy kind of do its work for you, and let it come to the surface with your support and with this support of Raw, and just like feel it and just enjoy it. And it doesn't have to be for people who are like control people like me. It doesn't have to be like that. It can just be, yeah,
Go
okay,
with the flow.
yeah,
and it's something.
Sit back and be supported.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I can't articulate, say, on my website about how I do that. But I do know in real life, I won't necessarily tell you what's coming next until we get there.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. It was kind of, and it was a good process for me for letting it go, because it's just like, well, we'll work on this next. And oh, we might work in a month, or we'll just see. And so that gave me practice as well, just being like, it'll happen when it's meant to happen. It's all good, as opposed to like,
oh, well, it's got to happen on the first of the month every, you know, and it didn't, because life happens.
Life happens.
Holidays happen.
Oh, yes.
Those sorts of things. And we were able to just move with not what we consciously thought it would be, but more where the energy took us.
Yeah, you just sort of feel into it and be like, fortnight on Thursday, feels good. 2 months away, yeah, let's see how it goes.
Cool. So is there anything that you want to say to, as a final message about what this brings?
Let me have a moment, because there's probably lots of stuff that I should have said and probably stuff that I shouldn't have said. But I think I just love the process. I love working with you. It's something that I will continue to keep doing, because I just find it such a support, and it's practical, it's easy, it's just sort of the perfect supplement for someone who's wanting, I guess, that bit more support without having to like bust your butt to do hard work. It's just,
that's awesome.
It's just, okay, yeah, let's do this. And for issues that perhaps I know for me that I couldn't rationally work through, or I knew this is the steps, but just something wasn't shifting. So if there is something that people want to shift or need support with, I would do it. Like, just
do it. Let's use the Nike reference. Do it.
Yeah. So thank you. It's always such a joy, and would really tell anyone who, you know, so highly recommended. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for sharing some of your journey of the last 12 months. And I will check in with everyone sooner rather than later.